Welcome, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of The Tom Matt Show. Thank you, Sandy, for bringing us in. Appreciate you so much. Love you so much. Mitch, Vanessa, the whole crew, our production staff, you guys are the best. Last week, fun time. Vinny Gore, Vice President, Michigan State University. He's the kingpin, number 2 man at the university. Came in, had a nice conversation. The Spartan experience, we called that one. It's all about Spartan. It's all about performance excellence. Threw some names out there for some people who are doing some magical things at the university or working behind the scenes to make things magically happen, including Linda Way Helm. I'm going to throw her a plug because she's high on that list of people who are doing good things at the university. So I like to promote people who are doing good things at the university. So that was Vinny Gore, the Spartan experience. Just so happens that I have this guy coming in today. Been on the show 3-4 times before. One of the best construction guys I know, by far. Customer service par excellence, great rates. Guy knows his stuff. Skilled trades in mid-Michigan. He's transitioning. The secret guest today is Mr. Rob Helm. Rob Helm graduated from Baldwin High School in 1996, somewhere near the bottom of his class. But do not let that fool you. I'm just going to leave the bio right there. I'm just going to leave it right there. Been on the show before. After graduating, after going through life, doing the thing, having family, getting married, doing all that good stuff. And now we find him on the show again for the 4th time. But this time, we're talking specifically about his new role at Lansing Community. I'm so happy for this young man. He's now the assistant professor of building and construction management. Did I say that right, Rob?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Congratulations on that role. But welcome back to the show to my very, very good friend, Mr. Rob Helm. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. How about yourself?
Good, man. Good. So, you know the drill. This is your life. Get everybody caught up. You got a couple of kids in your family. I mean, just a couple. And
Sure.
so procreation is not a problem in the Helm household. That's been fine. Good.
Yes.
So go ahead. Talk about your fam. Talk about go ahead. Your turn.
Oh my. Okay. Well, let's see here. As you said, we have us a little basketball team, if you will, starting 5. We have 5 great children. 4 wonderful daughters and a great son. My children are, I guess, not really children anymore because most of them are adult age now, and kind of traveling off and exploring the world and doing their own thing. So my oldest is pursuing becoming a doctor, so that's pretty exciting. She's over at that blue school
That
down
other
the
one,
way
yeah.
there.
We know all
Yeah.
about that. We're
Yeah,
we're
and
trying to
so
get her into the med school over at the green school, but we're working on that.
yeah, well, that green and white is kind of persuasive because it looks like money. So
Yeah, right. It'll help her
uh,
make money, and we can introduce
that's
her to
right.
doctors. But no, that's congratulations to your daughter from graduate from the University of Michigan. That's just fantastic.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. And then obviously my other 4 wonderful children. I'll start with my son because he's the next in line. He is preparing to attend LCC actually in their construction management department. So I'm pretty excited about having him join us there at LCC
Sweet.
in the fall. So that's pretty exciting. And then my second oldest daughter, she graduated a couple years ago from LCC, and so she is pursuing her career in early childhood development. So I'm very excited for her. And then my other 2 children are still high school age and elementary school age. So they're kind of traveling those paths and just looking forward to growing up. I'm sure to be like their older siblings. So and then can't leave out my wonderful wife, obviously. As you stated, Dr. Lindy A. Helm, doing great
Queen.
things over at MSU, yes. And I'm very excited to just observe her and be in a supporting role of, just being a husband and just trying to do what I can to make sure everybody, gets to their destination. So,
You're in an interesting position. Our guest today, everybody, is my very good friend Rob Helm, talking skilled trades in mid-Michigan. Rob is now assuming a position, assistant professor of building and trades management, construction management at Lansing Community College, which is a perfect fit for him. I mean,
yeah.
perfect to help teaching young people. But how is it, when you have a very, very high performing spouse? She's an assistant director at Michigan State University. She's got a PhD. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that kind of job. How do you help her maintain her balance, being the spouse and having that kind of dynamic? I mean, we see that a lot now where we have two professionals in the household and you have a family, and you guys
Hmm.
seem to get it done really well.
Yeah. Well, I kind of would attribute that to a philosophy that I have, which is just really, when it comes to, being married or having a spouse or a significant other, I truly believe that the most important thing that you can do is, wake up each day with the goal of helping that person's life be as easy as possible and to try to help them, achieve the things that they set out to do. And so, if both partners or spouses, if you will, have that same shared mentality, then it's a lot easier to overcome some of the stresses that life presents us with when you have somebody that you can lean on for support. And so I take pride in trying to do everything that I can to help her. And I say help her, but I use that sparingly because really what I'm doing is learning from her. She has elevated herself into areas that I have not been privy to directly, and so indirectly having the opportunity to see what she's doing, to hear what she's doing, and to participate in whatever ways that I can really has helped me a lot too as a professional. So it
She's
worked.
She's an amazing, amazing person, and the university is very, very fortunate to have her. And LCC is fortunate to have you. Let's talk about you. We got about 3 minutes before we go to break here and set this whole thing up because today you've been on the show before, Rob, talking about home improvement stuff, DIY stuff, a lot of the projects that you've helped us with the house and things that you've done all over the place because you've done virtually every kind of construction that is out there. You've done it. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been into some. Our house was a terrible situation, but now you're transitioning. You're refiring, as I like to say.
Right.
It's my
Yeah.
favorite, man. My branding, refirement zone. You're
Hmm.
walking in the refirement zone as assistant professor at Lansing Community College. Talk about that new gig. How did that happen? And what are you anticipating with that whole situation? Because it's so exciting.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. It kind of happened. Well, life hits you with different things, right? I've been a general contractor for a while, and I've had successes and some low points. And with the way the economy and things is, I've been kind of anticipating or sensing that there may be some difficulties, and so I started looking, for other opportunities that can kind of supplement, if you will, things that I can do with my time or have the capacity to earn an income. And so I was trying to like figure out what would allow me to still do what I do, right, as an entrepreneur and as a general contractor, but would also help me, continue to grow. That would give me access, those types of things. And I believe I don't know if it was my wife, it may have been Dr. Linda Way who stumbled across the opportunity there at LCC. But when I had taken a look at that, I used to work at LCC several years ago, about 20 years ago, actually. And so I had always had a vision of returning at some point to to do a better job. You know what I mean? Because I was a young man when I first started working there, and like you said, this whole retirement type of lifestyle that I'm having now, I have the energy and the desire to really push forth with 110%, if you will, and so I had kind of hope for this, and here it is. It manifested, and thanks to you and other people who have been able to share, their experience working with me, and has kind of opened that door to create an opportunity for me there at LCC. So I'm very excited for that.
You're going to be a wonderful addition to the faculty over there as assistant professor and working into more of a administrative role over there for sure as a perhaps chair of someday of your department. We're going to talk
Hmm.
about all of it at Lansing Community College, everybody, and the skilled trades model. Being a refired skilled trades person myself, I hold skilled trades very, very highly. We need more skilled trades men and women badly, badly, badly. And this is an opportunity to get the story right from the professor's mouth. He's the contractor, but he's also the assistant professor at LCC teaching these programs. So we're going to talk about architecture, building construction, civil technologies, construction management, heating and ventilation, air conditioning, trying to get cram all those in. You're listening to the Tom Match Show. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. I appreciate you all so very much for listening, watching, streaming, however you're receiving our show. It doesn't matter. The excerpts on YouTube, the full length, just audio versions of the podcast, the streaming, the actual over-the-air broadcast. Thank you so much. It really helps, and it helps our sponsors, who is benefiting from helping us by me sharing the story that is so important to Sandy and I, for sure. Brock Fletcher at the selling team of Keller Williams Realty has been a very impactful, very impactful person that has helped us so much. Not only has he helped us with our real estate issues, which you guys have heard me tell the story because Brock's been a sponsor for a long time, but it's true. I mean, if you want to get some really good advice on real estate, you got to go to the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Okay. The selling team of Keller Williams Realty, the selling team of Keller Williams Realty. 517-853-6408 is the office number. Okay. 517-853-6408. Brock's cell phone number, and some of you might have this memorized. I've said it so many times. I hope you get it memorized because this is the go-to. 517-303-3262, 517-303-3262, or the website kwsellingteam.com, right? Sell your home without hassles like we did. Thanks to Mike Dedman. Mikey, you're the bomb. And all the people. We're going to see Brock here soon. We're doing much more. We're tightening things up with his sponsorship. We're going to be doing much more with the reality of real estate. Reality of real estate is one of the top, very much the top categories on this radio program. Next to mental health advocacy, all of this kind of stuff is very important. And, you know, we're talking to our guest today, Rob Helm. He's the assistant professor of building construction management over at Lansing Community College. We need to put these people together so that we can connect the world and make things better. All right. So once again, 517-303-3262. Text him, leave him a voicemail, tell him Tommy sent you, and away you go. Please do that. Thank you so much for considering him. Okay, back to my show today. Skilled trades in Michigan, in mid-Michigan, at Lansing Community College with my bud, Rob Helm. Guy's stud. Total stud. Okay, Rob, we're going to go into the whole construction. You kind of telling the whole story of how you're doing your own retirement zone transition, as everyone should be thinking about. Good for you. You're hitting a point in your life where, you need to think about next things and doing things, and you're perfect for teaching. I mean, I've seen your work. I've obviously. And so that's why I just knew that this was going to be a good gig for you. So let's talk about it. Let's go right back into what they have over there. Talk about the whole program when you walked in there, because are you at the LCC West campus?
Yes.
Okay. Talk about the whole situation, the whole setup over there, and what you're offering, what LCC has to offer. How impressed were you when you start seeing the labs and the shops and all that?
Well, as I said, I used to work at LCC, Lansing Community College, over 20 years ago. And I started out in the HVAC department. And that's when the HVAC department was down at the downtown campus. And so they had just broken ground on the West campus as I was transitioning out of LCC back then. And so I had a chance to see it in its very, very early stages when they had just broken ground and just had some of the foundational work up. And so going back, here 20 plus years later, and seeing a finished product and seeing a designated area for the different trades and the new technologies and just, the whole beauty, if you will, of the atmosphere, because I do like that about the West Campus is it's kind of tucked away by itself. And but when you reach the campus and you walk through those doors, you have this very inviting, kind of happy, experience, and it's pretty. So I think those are great things to experience, from just a kind of refire or revisit, if you will, perspective. And then looking at the actual program itself, I'm in a unique position now because I have been the faculty member designated for reaccreditation for the construction management and building department. And so I am, I guess, kind of privy to seeing some things at a slightly higher level than maybe just being a faculty member.
How important is,
And
Rob, how important is that accreditation?
it is vitally important because that's where you get your I mean, your recognition from the industry and from other collegiate institutions. So it's everything for a given, department. And so it's exciting to be a part of such an important project. And especially considering, the things that I've been doing have put me on a pathway, I guess, to wanting to really contribute to the educational aspects of the construction industry.
So
And
welcome
so,
to higher ed, where you get handed off this. Oh, by the way, here's a little thing for you that we need you to manage, and it's like it's
exactly.
no big deal. It's just the
Yeah.
whole foundation for all the programs. No problem.
Exactly. It's been interesting because when I've attended different events on behalf of the college and have been encouraged to introduce myself kind of different than how I see myself because my specific title, like I said, is assistant professor. But they have me in leading roles in some ways, or at least that's the way it kind of feels and appears based upon how other people are dealing with me. But nonetheless, the construction drainage department, I'm very excited about it because looking at the intricacies of the various different courses that we offer and looking at the diverse staff that we have, and I'm excited to be a part of that diverse staff and to bring some unique approaches to teaching in the construction trades area. I think LCC is on a pathway to have a very, very, not that we don't currently have a solid program, but I think we're really going to have a truly solidified program in the near future.
It's so awesome that you're involved with this. And again, the refinement zone is perfect timing for you. The reaccreditation, the lead. Let me set this thing up, everybody, because I've got 5 topics that we want to try to run through in this episode. Rob, you can help me with this. We got about a minute and a half to go before we go to break, FYI.
Okay.
So, architecture, building construction, civil technologies, construction management, and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning on the website for the construction side of Lansing Community College. Briefly, just go through, because you have expertise in several of these areas, but just
Mhm.
briefly run through just those 5 things. Got a minute to go, and then we'll take a break and we'll come back.
Okay. Well, let me just start by first saying that I am really focused on the areas of construction and construction management, which civil technologies and those other areas are deviations from that. And so I wouldn't be able to speak specifically to those programs, I think in a real meaningful way, outside of just saying that they are solid programs by way of what the student learning outcomes are. I believe they set our graduates up with a great opportunity for entering into the workforce and or potentially becoming entrepreneurs and business owners. So I can speak to those in that capacity. As far as the other aspects of construction, whether it's interiors or exteriors or elements of that, again, I have been kind of diving through each one of the programs that we have from a course perspective, and so I think they're very intense, and I think they'll be great for students going forward.
Perfect. We're going to come back. We'll talk about that and how we can help our students moving forward. We'll define where they're going. Construction management's a big field. I have a daughter who has a master's degree in construction management, and so we're very aware of the potentials, especially for women, minorities,
Right.
everybody out there.
Mhm.
Everybody out there. Let me tell you, it's important. Skilled trades in Mid Michigan, Lansing Community College with Professor Rob Helm. This is the Tom Mann. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Tom Mann Show. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Again, appreciate everyone so very much. Love everyone for their time. It's important, and our content that we try to derive with this radio program is educational and entertaining. That's the bottom line. That's what we talk about. We only have 2 things that we do not cover on the show very much, if at all, and that would be politics and religion. And we'll touch on those a tiny bit here and there. Other than that, we're wide open. I mean, we're wide open. Today, we're talking with Rob Helm, who typically is here with our DIY stuff. And those are great episodes as well. As a matter of fact, my producer, Mitch Anderson, ranked one of Rob's episodes, one of the top episodes that we've ever done. So just go back and find those because those are very helpful for home improvement. Today's episode is a very much a different twist because Rob has assumed a role adjunct faculty assistant professor, building and construction management at Lansing Community College. And so, and he's in a full-time position, and he's going to be managing. So you started to talk about, Rob, in the previous segment, what you're going through the course load. But before we start to describe all of that to the listeners, please share your contact information at Lansing Community College. How would you like students, parents, grandparents to connect with you if they have questions on any of your programs?
Well, the very best way to connect with me would be to email me directly. I monitor my email pretty much 24/7. And so depending upon what the, um, I guess, urgency of the messages, I can respond really quickly that way. And so my email is Helm, my last name, HELM, like Mary, R3 at lcc.edu, or you can contact our office directly at 517-483-1336. And as I said, email is really the best for me because I am currently like traveling and doing some other programs and things of that nature. And so I definitely, if you email me, I can respond to you quickly.
Good. And that's for all parents, students, grandparents. Reach out to Rob's a good dude. I mean, he's a really easygoing guy. You guys have seen him on my show before. He has his own podcast. He's got lots of things going on. He's an inventor. He's done all kinds of great things. And we could talk a little bit about some of the things that he's invented. We've done that before. Today, we're specifically trying to go with skilled trades in Mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. Rob, you started to describe, you're going through some of the courses and how involved they are. And
Mhm.
what's your opinion on what we're offering, what we as taxpayers are offering our young people coming into because the construction industry, and I know this very well because my daughter Ashley has her master's degree in construction management and has been in the industry for a long time. Everything is shifting and changing and jiving and doing all kinds of crazy things. So talk about the curriculum that you're coming across 20 years later at your new building.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the curriculum is very impressive. We offer a very large array of classes, at different times, obviously, but it's pretty exciting to see where the industry is going. Part of my contribution, if you will, to the reaccreditation of our program is to introduce more cutting edge technologies that, such as AI, that are becoming more and more relevant to the construction industry in different aspects. And so I think what we currently have is very solid and very sound. But I really want to help us get on track to be kind of on the forefront of these technologies that are being introduced to the construction industry. So, we're focused on green materials and green building and that type of thing. And so now technology has an opportunity to contribute some beneficial aspects like that as well.
Well, the whole thing with you still got to swing a hammer, you still got to hit
Hmm.
a nail, you still got to
Yep.
put a pipe together. But the thing is, it's like these buildings are so much more high tech. It's the
Hmm.
buildings themselves, the glass, everything that goes into buildings now. Rob, how has commercial construction, because we're talking a lot of commercial, we can talk some residential stuff, but I'm referring to commercial.
Hmm.
How has that changed in your 20 years now that you're back to LCC in a assistant professor's role? Personally, I kind of know the answer to this question, but what have you seen?
Well, definitely a enhanced focus on energy efficiency, I
Hmm.
think is probably one of the most important. And the other aspect, as I said, the green building or renewable construction, if you will. I think those are like probably the key changes that have happened since, when I first, if you will, entered into the industry, because everything before was, two by fours and drywall. And now there's so many unique materials and unique methods of building that you almost have to research, what options are available now because there's so many different options that can fit various different needs in terms of building or structural needs, if you will, or even consumer needs. And so I think those are the things that, for me, that I've noticed that have changed the most. That, and then the speed in which things get done. because, when we look back, well, 20 years is probably not far enough, but if we go back maybe 50 years and we look at how the construction industry was at that time, which is before my time, but we're able to kind of draw a parallel between how things were built back then. As we say, they were stronger and better back, then. And now, we are building things, I think, with high quality, but not with the same level of mastery. And so that's what I'm excited about, being a part of the construction industry and the path that is headed in, because as you stated, there is a tremendous need for, minorities and women and pretty much anybody who is capable to enter into this industry. You will hear more and more and more, as I have, when people saying, hey, you need to, think about the trades, because there's so much money to be made, and things of that nature. So I'm really focused on helping try to, encourage people to take that path and help them realize that the path of construction is not like an alternative path, like you might see alternative education, for instance, right?
Right.
I think there's some sound opportunity within the realm of the construction industry.
Let me add this. That's a very good explanation. Rob Helm's my guest today, everybody. Professor Rob Helm from Lansing Community College, skilled trades in mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. As my daughter, as I mentioned, Ashley has a master's in construction management. She has a bachelor's in urban planning, but her job is actually she is a scheduler and a
Mm,
planner. And so she is this tech that she works in, you guys, is so unbelievable. It's like it's crazy involved. I mean, we're talking, think Excel times a million. I mean, it's just like there's these spread with the, because when you got $100 million construction jobs going on, which she works on these, that's the type of stuff she does. Huge,
hmm.
huge numbers. There are so many little variables that go into it. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It is
Yep.
insane how many inputs that you can have. And as Rob was saying, options, needs, structural, materials, all of these things. I want to ask you really quickly, Rob, and we'll go to break here because I don't want to give you going too far because we got about
Hmm.
a minute to go. But the cost of your programs, just give everybody a quick 30-second snapshot on the cost of attending and are there options?
Well, there are options, obviously, with student aid and grants and those types of things. There are, well, as far as like the credit hour goes, like if you were going for a degree, right? I believe, I'm not absolutely sure what I think our credit hour might be like $150 a credit hour or something like that. I can't remember what those numbers are. But as far as what the outcome of your experience, because what's nice about learning skilled trades is that you could actually be going to school and be working at the same time, whether it's through an apprenticeship or an internship, or just by way of having additional skills that you can now market. So,
That's where I was going with this. And we'll finish this thread when we come back, Rob, because I got to go to break here. Rob Helm's our
mhm,
guest, Professor Rob Helm. Skilled trades in mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. He's assistant professor of building and construction management. Proud to say that for him. He's a great guy. But we're going to talk about cost, not only the tuition cost, the cost of going to school, but how you could potentially get your education paid for by employers, because
right.
employers are going to want to work with Rob to find out, make sure that you're trained correctly. And then it's all turnkey, everybody. Stick around. We're going to
Mhm.
talk more about that. Again, Rob Helm is here, Professor Rob Helm, skilled trades in mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. This is the Tom Matt Show. Welcome back, everyone. The fourth segment of the Tom Matt Show, sponsored by Brock Fletcher, Keller Williams Realty. Here's another testimonial. I love reading these testimonials for Brock and the whole crew over there. I talked to a few realtors. This is from Stacy in Lansing. I talked to a few realtors in the Lansing area before choosing Brock Fletcher. Wonder why she did that. Good for you, Stacy, shopping around. Do that shopping around. I'm encouraging you. Shop around. Go for it. And then come back to Brock and see what kind of service you get from that. You'll see the difference. Brock Fletcher and his team to assist in selling my home. So we're talking Stacy's doing a testimonial here. Brock's combination of experience and knowledge, which is like 25, 30 years plus. And I got to get Rob Helm connected with these guys so that we can get these trades people going and with the real estate people and get everybody tied together. Brock's combination of experience, knowledge, and people that he has over there, deviated from Stacy's testimonial a little bit, of the area, combined with the ability to understand my needs and how to successfully price and market my home, made him the obvious choice for me. Let me give you those numbers again, everybody. 517. Both numbers are 517 numbers. 853-6408. That's the office number. Then you have 303-3262. That's Brock's cell phone number. Text him, leave him a voicemail. He will get back to you that day. You can go to their website, kwsellingteam.com, kwsellingteam.com, kwsellingteam.com. Go to our website, tommattshow.com, bottom of the homepage. Click on through, take you right on to his website, kwsellingteam.com. There are 25 plus episodes in Reality of Real Estate on our website. They're all free. Please pick and choose. Go ahead. They're right there for you. That's why they're there, because we don't know what people want from our radio program. So we try to give you the smorgasbord so you can go over there and choose away. Kind of leading into our conversation with Professor Rob Helm today, Assistant Professor Building Trades at Lansing Community College, Construction Management. And I was just mentioning my daughter, Ashley, who's doing the spreadsheet thing. So that when you guys think about construction management, it's not just swinging the hammer, not even close. And Rob, let's continue to talk about, construction management, the whole field of construction management, because from what Ashley does and what I've learned, the little bit that I know about construction management, is she works for a superintendent who is the head of the whole gig. But some companies don't have a scheduler planner. The superintendent does all of that themselves. And they are, gosh, I wish I had a scheduler planner who could do all that.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about all of the different options in construction management. There are so many different fields. I mean, it's not swinging a hammer.
Right. Well, yeah, especially from the management side. The way that I kind of view the two different from the construction management versus building and construction is, as you stated, the construction management is more about organizing the job, layering it so that you can you meet your time deadlines, that you can accommodate a successful flow of the
Materials.
contribution. Well, not just the materials, but the contributions of the various subcontractors too, because part of planning out that job is knowing what contractors you need for what type of work and how much time it's going to take. Like all of those variables that go into that are almost like items that are. There's almost a position for each one of those. So you were talking about the superintendent. So if you have a organization that is, let's just say, well fitted with people for all of the different aspects of collecting those data points and monitoring those data points. That's how you're able to tackle those large multi-million-dollar projects, is by having, teams of people who focus on certain elements of that job to make sure that the flow is unobstructed. And so that, from a construction management side, doesn't require, as you said, swinging hammers. It definitely does require you to have some sense of what it takes to get the job done. Yeah, I think, from the construction management side, if individuals have a desire to, grow in a leadership type of way, construction management is a really good move to make in that way, because a lot of the skills are transferable. So, managing people is a part of almost all corporations, or managing projects could be a part of all types of industries. And so a lot of those skills are transferable. So construction management is, I think, a great introduction into an industry if you don't have the physical hands-on skills.
Here's the thought I just had. Professor Rob Helms with us today, skilled trades in mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. Okay, so you've got people taking these courses. You've got different levels, layers of jobs that you can do in the construction management industry. It's like, it's so wide open that you could probably take people that are going from their retirement zone. It could be older adults
Right.
who are transitioning from a management role, perhaps in corporate, and apply
Mm-hmm.
some of their skill sets in a construction and really apply those and do very well. I mean, so the skill sets can overlap. And what I'm driving at is, don't diminish, because you're maybe a little older, or you're been in a career for 10 or 15 years or whatever, 20 years, look at Rob. I mean,
Hmm.
he's refiring. So talk about that, Rob. Some of the skill sets, some of the because it's not limited to just like getting out of high school, 18, 19-year-olds. We're talking
Right.
the whole vast majority of everyone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you make a good point there because I would say the construction industry, in some ways, is probably one of the easiest industries to jump into. And I say that because there's such a need, right? I mean, the demand for workers is out of sight right now. But in addition to that, many people are, DIYers. They're do-it-yourselfers, and so in some ways you have knowledge that you haven't tapped into probably or don't even realize that you have that you could tap into. Some people like to paint, some people, I don't know, they like to clean their carpets a certain kind of way, or different things like that. All of those little indirect skills, if you will, can be harnessed to open up a Pandora's box in the construction industry, because like I said, all of those little aspects that you were talking about, from superintendents to project managers to team leaders to foremen, I mean, like, there's so many different layers of opportunity. And then there's so many different specific industries within the industry of construction, if you will, or trades within that industry, that just take you down different paths. The theoretical knowledge that you gain from, let's say, being an electrician, opens your mindset up to a way of thinking that many people may struggle with, right? Just an understanding how electricity flows can help you solve problems with plumbing. It can help you even solve problems with life, terms of your energy and how your energy flows. So anyway, yes.
I love it. No, it's great. I was just thinking, Professor Rob Helm's with us today, everybody. Skilled trades in Mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. He's assistant professor, building construction management at Lansing Community College. But you don't actually have to be just a person looking for a career either. You could
Right.
be taking personal classes just because you want to improve your skill set, or maybe you want to save some money. Like, we'll go into our DIY stuff. I want to learn how to be a better painter. I want to learn how to do siding. You
Hmm.
have all of those options, and it's very inexpensive to learn these skills, correct?
Right. Right. Well, here's an example for you. Imagine needing a roof and not having any idea of how to do it. The roof gets worse and it starts to damage the inside of your home. So let's say the total cost of a repair like that might be 50 or $60,000, right? So you evaluate that cost and then consider the cost of you going and taking a class or two classes at the community college that teaches you carpentry and elements of roofing, that now you can go and make your own repairs to your home or assemble a team of people, friends, family, what have you, to get it done, and maybe do it at a cost of $6,000 to $10,000. So you talk about the opportunities that exist within the community college realm, especially because you can take a single class as opposed to taking a whole, program or a whole certificate. I mean, again, homeowners, individuals who have responsibilities with physical structures, it's a great opportunity for you to do what you're already doing, but expand on that and potentially earn an income, start a new career.
Lifelong education I am such a huge advocate for lifelong education. Lifelong education, as I've said a bunch of times on this radio program, has changed my life. I wouldn't even be talking on radio for the last 14 years doing this stuff. It was all about lifelong education. So if you're finding yourself in your retirement zone and you're finding yourself either with a need or a desire to just go meet some people and take some fun classes, how many times, and I'm gonna close the segment here because we got a couple of seconds to go here. But some of my funnest classes, even though I like the academic side of things, but when I was in school back in the dark ages, we had wood shop, we had metal shop, we had the
Hmm.
shop classes were a blast. They were
Hmm.
so fun. I mean, they almost as much as fun as gym, and
Hmm.
so it's all perspective, everybody. And what Rob was saying about electrical, we can talk about voltage, low voltage, high voltage, all that kind of stuff. That's a whole nother area. All of the trades have so many opportunities within the trade himself. We'll talk
Hmm.
more about that with Professor Rob Holm, assistant professor, building construction management at Lansing Community College, calling this one Skilled Trades in Mid-Michigan, Lansing Community College. This is the Tom Nat Show. Thank you, Sandy, for bringing us back. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tom Nat Show. Thank you for joining us this week. Rob Helm, Professor Rob Helm's with us, skilled trades in Mid-Michigan, assistant professor building construction management at Lansing Community College, just taking on a new role in his retirement zone. Rob and I were just chatting, it's like, how do we put a bow on this? This is such an important topic, and we can cover, we're going to cover more of this to promote the trades, because I'm a huge advocate and proponent for skilled trades in all of the trades, from the electrical to the low voltage to plumbing to heating and air conditioning, all of it. Carpentry. I mean, there's so many opportunities here. Rob, you were just mentioning, and you said what you're trying to accomplish in this role for you, and I like this whole thought. It's a new day. It's a new day, and you have goals. You have goals that you'd like to see achieved at this point in your life. And at this point in your life, you're mature enough now. You've had your children. You've done this thing. You're progressing in your career and so forth and so on. Your wife and you're doing great. You're in a good position now to transfer knowledge. I mean, you're the perfect guy. You're ready. It's all about being ready, everybody. I talk to people all the time. You're not ready. You are ready. New day, goals. What do you see? What do you want to see?
Wow. Well, I can say this, I'm on a mission of really trying to bring some light to the construction industry as a whole. One of the conversations that I've been having frequently is of professional applications. And few of the people that I've talked to about it is saying, well, what does that actually mean? And the way that I try to explain that is when I was in college, I think the class for me, a lot of the theoretical things that I learned were great. So don't get me wrong there. But I think the thing that has had the greatest impact on my life across all industries, because I've worked in many different industries, is the professional applications class that we had, which really focused on showing you how to be a professional within the industry, right? And I know a lot of classes that we offer, they have elements of that in there. But I think it's critical, highly critical, to teach people within the construction industry, especially new people who are coming into the industry, because there's a lot of sometimes negative connotation that's associated with our industry. Whether people think they're criminals or drug addicts or drunks or whatever the case might be.
Or the work
Um,
is too hard, or it's too hot, or it's too dirty, or
yeah, yeah, like
there's
there's a
all
lot
kinds,
of,
all kinds
right,
of extenuating reasons and excuses
right.
that people can make for. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. And so what my goal is to focus on raising that level of professionalism of people in the construction industry. And so that way that when we are viewed by people outside of our industry, they view us with respect in the general context of other careers and industries throughout our businesses, if you will. And so a lot of people see doctors and engineers and all these people, and they put them on a very high pedestal. And not that they don't deserve it, because there's a lot of rigor that goes into achieving that. But at the same time, having the ability to do the things that we do, which is to put a roof over your head, to ensure that you're comfortable within there, that you have access to lights and plumbing and all those different things, are equally, if not more important, because you need a foundation to, if you're going to be put on a pedestal, you need a foundation to stand on. And that's how I view construction. It is a fundamental aspect of life that we stand on regardless of what industry we're in. And not only do we stand on it, but we rely on it. So when we're in need, the first thing we do is reach out to those people, just like we would a doctor. And so I have always viewed myself as being a doctor of mechanical equipment. So when you call me, I'm not going to act like a mechanic and talk, crazy and that type of thing. I'm going to try to be as professional and diagnose, all of those things that you would view a doctor as being is what what I want to present in my approach to whatever work that I'm doing.
It's a
And so
professional
that's,
attitude that you're describing to me, and a
yeah.
word that, as you're talking, Rob, I'm thinking, I hear Linda Way, your wife, talking, and one of her key words and what you were saying is integrity. You want to have integrity with your,
Hmm.
and the other thing I thought about is, if you have and establish a very strong foundation of integrity within your program and
Hmm.
with your graduates, that means that when the employers come, they know. It's like at Michigan State. I know for a fact that the construction management program over there, because my daughter went through the program, I know
Hmm.
that the placement of their graduates, because it's a very small program, it's it's got tough classes. The
Hmm.
placement for those kids is about 95%. I mean, we're talking
Wow.
almost 100% get jobs because of the rep, because of
Mhm,
the integrity of the program. And I think that's what I'm hearing you say, Rob, is you're trying to elevate this program through the reaccreditation and all of those things. You got the
mhm,
beautiful facility over there. And so
mhm.
is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it all, I think, comes together, as I said, for a new day of construction trades at LCC. At least if I have anything to say about it, because as a professor, those are the elements that I'm going to bring to the table. So I'll be teaching the theoretical aspects of, architecture or building construction or construction management, what have you. But it's going to stand on those fundamental professionalism principles. So that's kind of the standard that you will have when you enter into the door of my classroom. That's what you can expect.
What courses are you listed to teach this fall? Do you know yet?
Yes, this fall, the first class that I'll be teaching, which is full, by the way, is Architecture 113. So that is materials and methods. And so we'll be talking about various aspects of building construction and the materials that go into, making that happen and the best choices of materials for various applications.
How excited are you for a full class already?
I'm nervously excited. I enjoy talking. I enjoy sharing knowledge. But what I do know more than anything is to be a quality professor, you have to be a quality learner. So there is a lot of information out there that continues to grow and update every day. So I know that I'll be a student just as I'll be a teacher. So I'm excited about learning more and growing as well.
I have to say, I had Vinny Gore, the vice president of Michigan State, on last week for the show, and he refers to the two of us as learning partners. We're learning
Okay.
partners, learning partners.
Hmm.
That's kind of what I'm hearing from you, Rob, is you're going to learn from your students, make you a good professor, and then you're going to
Hmm.
transfer your knowledge to them, and together you collaborate because that's what
Right.
happens in the trades now. You need to have that collab because to think you know everything, everybody, is complete nonsense. It's just not
Right.
going to happen, right? There's so many things that are changing in your field, the materials, everything that you've talked about. Let's do we got about 4 minutes to go here before we wrap this thing, Rob, and I'd like you to just have a long takeaway and plug the heck out of the LCC skilled trades program and skilled trades period at the high school level, at the voc
Right.
tech level, at
Yeah.
any level. Please take plenty of time here to give the Rob Helm rah rah speech. Why maybe you want to consider you're a high school sophomore, junior, and you're kind of on the fence. Let's do the pitch.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first and foremost, I'll just say that, if you are part of the Lansing community, local and regional, if you will, we would love to have you join our program. We are looking for additional adjunct professors as well, because our goal is to deliver high quality education as it relates to building and construction trades. I think that students, whether you are a sophomore or even a freshman, because I think you mentioned workshop or wood shop, excuse me, and other, elective classes like that. Lots of students are, doing those types of programs maybe to just gain some space in school. But take a serious look at it. Take a real serious look at it, because if you have an interest in having a career that is sustainable, that is in demand, and continues to be in demand, you really want to think about the trades, whether it's construction trades or mechanics or whatever, that may not be your traditional educational path. And so LCC has a great program. We have great adjunct professors and faculty members, and a great support system. And that's what I'm most excited about, is the team of people that I'm working with can really help me bring my vision to life. And my vision, I should say, encompass with LCC's vision. Let me rephrase that. And so, I see a great future ahead of us that provides us an opportunity to change the course of the construction industry, at least here locally, to help encourage youth and other community people at large to participate in an industry that is very lucrative and very rewarding.
Now, and this is the last point. You just mentioned this lucrative. Just give us a ballpark number for what your graduates can, and it's just a ballpark, anticipate earnings coming out. Different trades are different amount, but it can be anywhere from boom to boom. What are we thinking here?
Wow. Well, you know what? I think it would be difficult for me to pinpoint that simply because there's lots of variables that go into that. Especially your location, for instance, right? If you're in a big city, if you're in a union, a lot of those factors really play into what you can expect to make. I'll speak to it from a slightly different angle because I'm an entrepreneur as well, and I have my own company and so forth. And so, what I always suggest to people is to, when you're involved in any work that um, there's opportunity to become a owner or to become a leader, to consider that because your potential for income becomes unlimited, uncapped. So, I would say that don't be so concerned about what you make when you first enter as to what you can make as you build your skill set.
There's a good advice from Professor Rob Helm. He's assistant professor of building and construction management at Lansing Community College. Skilled Trades in Mid-Michigan. Lansing Community College has been this episode. If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you through our guests like Professor Rob Helm, helping LCC, helping Michigan State University. We are down with helping people get better. That's the bottom line. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thanks again to my very good friend, Rob Helm, for being here. Sandy, Brock Fletcher. We'll talk to everybody next weekend. Have a great week, everybody. Go out and ignite your life. Good day now. Remember, the Tom Matt Show is a production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. Lastly, I want to say thank you once again to our production staff, Sandy, of course, Mitch Anderson, and Vanessa. Thank you so much. And our guest, Rob Helm. Appreciate you all. Love you all. Have a great week, everybody. We're out. It's wonderful. Love Rob Helm so much. Skilled Trades in Mid-Michigan at Lansing Community College. Really need to think about the skilled trades. Skilled trades really gave us everything that we have here with my, the telecom side of things. And actually, when I started in telecom wasn't a skilled trade yet. It evolved into a skilled trade like an electrician as the low voltage side of things. But there are so many aspects. And let me tell you guys, coming like with my daughter, Ashley, and all her stuff, it ain't swinging hammers, baby. And she's making jack. And she's earning it, but she's making jack. And you can make jack. And you're looking at six figures. Easy. Check it out. Lansing Community College, their skilled trades program, architecture, building construction, civil technologies, construction management, heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Rob Helm is the bomb. Love him. He's greatness. I'm Papa Tom. Until next time, everybody, peace out. Love y'all. Have a great week.